Mandela happens to be one of the most dedicated, respected, and inspirational figures who was a great representation of a human rights symbol in the 20th century. As he was an anti-apartheid revolutionary and politician, a part of the ANC, African National Congress, and served as the first black president of South Africa, he has actively worked to tear down the apartheid policies of ruling National Party. Mandela emphasized the battle against oppression to accomplish the goals he and others had set out to do almost 4 decades earlier. He advocated the transition from minority rule and apartheid and won international respect for his advocacy of national and international respect and cooperation. Mandela fought for equal rights for blacks and whites in South Africa. An anti-apartheid activist, Mandela unified his divided country as its first black president. An international celebration of his life and rededication to his goals of freedom and equality has held in 2008 on the occasion of his 90th birthday.
Why we chose this topic? Nelson Mandela not only ended apartheid, but he also advocated for peace overall and in this way proved that he was a great leader. Mandela changed the course of history for Africa and also for the world. He was imprisoned for over 25 years, however, did not lose faith in winning freedom for his people in South America. Mandela is someone that many people look up to because of his hope and perseverance. He is a very brave person, especially for being South Africa's first black president after ending apartheid. For these reasons and many others, we chose Nelson Mandela as our topic. People should follow his example because we need many more leaders like him in our world today. By using peace rather than violence and warfare to achieve what he achieved is a very good way of leadership. Nelson Mandela is honored by many for all the work he did during his life. His patience, wisdom, and integrity in which he used to lead his nation to equality and freedom are an inspiration for us. Not only did he achieve national liberation, but he also achieved personal liberation, and for this, he is a great moral hero.
Nelson Mandela and the fight for equality in South Africa relates to the theme of leadership and legacy because he is a prime example of the kind of leadership we so desperately need during modern times. He was a great leader of his own country and helped to unite South Africa as it dismantled apartheid, the cruel system of white minority rule. He symbolized for all of Africa a commitment to democracy and freedom. Nelson Mandela was a mindful leader who did everything in his power for the good of his people. He inspired people to forgive, to be selfless and tolerant, and to maintain dignity no matter what the circumstances. Mandela once said, "It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory when nice things occur. You take the front line when there is danger, then people will appreciate your leadership." He was a man of great compassion and forgiveness who became a shining example of what a leader can and should be.
Due to his great efforts in leadership, he left behind legacy that people will never forget. Ever since Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa in 1994, Mandela recommended to make the national anthem of South Africa a combination of the two songs, God Bless Africa and The Call. His purpose was to enforce a powerfully symbolic message of national harmony. To this day, this is the national anthem that the population of South Africa sings. The very important truth is that Mandela achieved the historically rare feat of uniting a fiercely divided country. It was rare because ordinary politicians would always separate the population of a country depending on their status, and that would cause hatred towards one another. Mandela, on the other hand, was able to unite his divided country because he was nothing like an ordinary politician. He made an effort and appealed to people's common humanity. Generally, a successful leader in any case promotes the qualities of a well-rounded, dependable, and responsible disposition. Leadership in terms of national power is essential in bringing the nation to complete equilibrium or total utter balance. This regards controlling any delinquencies, economic and political mayhem, social/media management, etc., Most importantly, however, a leader needs to bring the nation together, to unite a nation fully, whether it be through changes fitting towards resistance or by advocating peace, stability, and equality, like Nelson Mandela did. Being a revolutionary and politician, further justifying equal rights for blacks and whites, his actions brought serenity and order to South Africa.
Nelson Mandela is highly recognized for deliberately ending racial segregation in South Africa, alongside endorsing neutrality and unity to his nation. With his kind-hearted actions and continuous effort, Mandela still managed to keep his hope, applying that as a notion of actions tenaciously pushing forward through good times as well as bad times, literally no matter the circumstances. He revolutionized equality. He made sure of it, and through his originality composed to create it out of pure violence, not only innovating South Africa with his advocations, but filtering hate out of this world. Mandela is one that many people are inspired by. He literally did make the world a better place. Through his bravery, the world saw a beauty that was foreign to many, in terms of ending violence through peace. And in terms of bringing serenity to a nation of destruction, Mandela was our first choice, as his advocations and utter care for his nation encouraged us to research him as our topic. This assignment pushed to remind many, as well as ourselves, that moral conduct should never be a lost treasure. However, for each and every person continuously improving, what many suffered through their lifetimes, especially during the time of Mandela, should never be forgotten and underestimated. It should continuously be a realization to all of us that as we cannot change what has happened, we can control what is going to happen in a moral manner. Mandela, in this case, is a great role model for everyone, regardless of race, circumstances, etc., as people like him are rare and certainly hard to find. Thus, many should continue his ambitions of peace to achieve. Nelson Mandela's ongoing legacy not only changed the lives of thousands of people globally, but his actions rose as a wake-up call, reminding us to never lose moral righteousness.
Nelson Mandela was a freedom fighter for South Africa. He fought long and hard and even got sent to prison for 25 years just so his people will be free. Similarly, the British colonists whom had came to America also went through the same struggles. They wanted their country, America, to be free. They fought long and hard just like Mandela did. He also stands as a great example for future presidents to come. He was one of the most influential leaders of his country. Just as Mandela, America wants its future leaders to lead the country with such inspiration.
Although Nelson Mandela was not a historical figure in the United States, he still played a very important role as he impacted so many people in the US. After Mandela's death, people in the US were grieving as he has such an impact on our nation. He was truly an inspiration to everyone, including our current President Barack Obama. As President Obama had so much respect for Mandela, he ordered the American flags to be lowered immediately in tribute to Mandela for the South African leader. Obama also stated, "My very first political action, the first thing I ever did that involved an issue or a policy or politics, was a protest against apartheid." I studied his words and his writings, and like so many around the globe, I cannot fully imagine my own life without the example that Nelson Mandela set. And so long as I live, I will do what I can to learn from him.
Is that it?